Welcome, everyone. This is Glenda Dawson, and you're watching Glenda's Dragon's Den. We stream this live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we hope to see you every week. And if you can't make it at that time, you could always watch the recording that is all over the place. You got YouTube, Roku TV, Conscious Awakening Network. Come on, guys. Yeah, if you want to find me, you can find me. I do want to say thank you to all of the fans that are here every week supporting us, sharing, liking. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so this way you could continue to get notifications when we do new shows, when we put up new things. Don't stay behind the times, guys. All right. So tonight, oh man, tonight we have a phenomenal guest. And I'm just going to say this. Gypsy Jewels, welcome. How are you today?
Hi, I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
Perfect, perfect. Here in Pennsylvania, it's been a little crazy, the weather, sometimes below zero, sometimes, but in the last, I would say, month and a half, 2 months, it has been a little crazy, but there's the hope of spring, right? Spring
There
is right around the
is.
corner, right around
It's
the corner.
it really is. And here in Texas, we generally have warmer weather and last Saturday it was absolutely gorgeous. Felt like summer. It got up to like 84 or 5. It was crazy. But then a cold front blew in, and now we're getting cold and wet weather. So, but no snow. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. But yeah, I live in Texas, East Texas actually, and tends to get a little humid here. But I love the warmer climates.
Right, right. Hey, it's no cleanup.
Right? No shoveling snow. No, I couldn't live that life.
I'm the one who likes glutton for punishment, like all four four seasons. so,
Uh,
so tell us about yourself.
okay. So a little bit about me. I am most known for my metal detecting and treasure hunting through my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel is called Zero Discrimination. And I guess I've had my channel about, I need to check this, maybe 8 years. I can't remember exactly. Um, I started my channel actually because one day I I had gone through kidney cancer. I'd lost my right kidney, and long story there. But I had been starting going through a spiritual awakening as well, and I actually, call it God, whatever you want to call it, source. I heard a little voice that said start a YouTube channel, and I listened, and a few weeks later, I started a YouTube channel. So
Good for
um,
you.
uh, then that actually led me to get into, I landed a few TV things where I was a guest on a couple TV shows. The first one being one of the Gold Rush shows with Freddie Dodge, Gold Mine Rescue. In fact, I just talked to him yesterday about hopefully an upcoming this spring when they start filming. So um, lots of fun. I love getting out there and treasure hunting and metal detecting and all sorts. That one in particular is more about gold and gold prospecting, but my favorite part is history and the past that I dig up out of the ground through my metal detecting. So I was also on the History Channel, Beyond Oak Island, and I know a lot of you probably heard of
Mhm.
that. And so I was in 3 different episodes of that, as well as a few other little TV things here and there. which led me to starting some of my own productions of some of my own things. But my main thing is with my YouTube channel, which I'm also sponsored by Garrett Metal Detectors. I'm part of their field team. And so I get to go out and test their brand new equipment before it even comes on the market. And
Oh,
so
cool.
that's
That's
it's
so
quite an
cool.
honor, quite an
Yes.
honor. So I'm lucky to have that. And lucky with that sponsor, they send me all kinds of wonderful places. Last year, I got to go to the Netherlands, which was amazing because that was something normally I wouldn't have probably went to the Netherlands. So before that, they had planned to send me to Italy, and then COVID hit. We all know all that mess. But
Mhm.
anyway. Um, got some upcoming trips that they'll be sending me on. A lot in the New England area, which the history there in the U.S. is very rich there. Of
Mhm.
course, I would love to travel more across the pond, and go to those more historical areas like in England. I've got quite a few friends over in England and
Mm.
dig some of that history. But that's
Now,
kind of it in a
how
nutshell.
is Netherlands? How is that really?
Oh, it was great. Now, I will say that it rained, I think, for 2 days while I was there, off and on.
Hmm.
But other than that, the history there, we were very close to the Germany border.
Ooh.
We landed in Amsterdam and then drove
Mhm.
over to a little town community there in the Netherlands. And then one day we got to cross over to Germany. And the history there is so rich because you have stuff like I actually found an item. In fact, it's on my YouTube channel from the 1400s in one of the fields there. A lot of old coins that predate a lot of the stuff you find here in the U.S.
Right,
But
right.
it was a blast. I loved it. Quite the experience. I'm ready to go back.
Yes, that would definitely be a place that you wouldn't think of. Let's go on vacation there,
Right.
you know. So what got you really into metal
Treasure hunting,
detector? You're
metal
right,
detecting.
treasure.
Well, I think the going back, some of us are always interested in treasure hunting in one aspect or the other.
Mhm.
So there's all different types of treasure hunting. When I was a kid, my father would take me and my brother, we would go out and fossil hunt and rock hunt. And we would also go to the dump ground. And um, my dad was quite the inventor, so he liked to go break apart junk that he found at the dump ground and build something out of junk. And he's quite the science genius, really. And so as a kid, I would go do that as well and find little treasures, coins, and all kinds of stuff that are accidentally or purposely thrown away at those type of places.
Mm.
So that was one form of treasure hunting. Um, but as I got older, I actually met up with a couple when I was visiting Galveston, Texas, South Texas, near the Gulf Coast, and I was about to walk into one of those souvenir shops, and in up from the stairs walked this couple that were holding a metal detector in their hand, and I just happened to say, "Hey, did you have any luck?" And they were like, "Yeah, we did," and they pulled out all their finds. They had a handful of finds that they had found, and they had like a ring in there, a pendant, a bunch of change and stuff. And I was like, "Ooh!" It's something clicked, and I'm like, "I'm getting me a metal detector." So, needless to say, probably a couple weeks later, I purchased my first metal detector, and that's pretty much all she wrote because first time I went out, I didn't find like big treasures or anything like that, but I did find some modern coins. I remember I found a key and some modern trash because I went straight to the beach because that's kind of what I associated with metal detecting at that
Right,
time.
right.
And I was hooked.
Well, the beach is a great place to do that because you have people going there, swimming and all that, the rings come off, you know, they put something next door, they have change in their pockets, you know, in their shorts before they undress, whatever the case may be. um, I, I, I could tell you, even without a metal detector, I have found a lot of those
Found
stuff.
stuff.
Right, because it just washes, and you're sitting there, and you're like, "Huh, wonder what
What
this
is
is."
that?
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, here's a ring. Oh, okay, maybe this person might want their graduation ring." So
Right.
but I could see that being a lot of fun. Now, with your cancer, did this help you find some peace, you know?
Y- Yeah, yes, it did. With my cancer, I consider, sometimes in our darkest hours, that's when we kind of are rebirthed. Our
Mhm,
souls are rebirthed, and it awakens us to the things that we're most passionate about in life.
mhm.
And that's what my cancer did for me, because 6 months after they removed my kidney, they found more cancer in my lymph nodes. And so they had to go back. And at that time, the doctor said, "Oh, you have 5 to 10 years to live." Well, that hits
Yeah,
you,
I
and it's
know.
it's it's a death sentence, and or a lot. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right.
And so it really awakened you to what are you truly passionate about?
Mhm,
Your family, your friends, um, you know, and, for me, that was one of my most favorite things to do. I
mhm,
loved going out. It was a lot of the times I would go solo. Occasionally I would go with friends, because I ended up, moving to the beach for like, I think about 4 years, right around there, and got really addicted to,
mhm.
the beach hunting and water
Yeah.
hunting. So I would get up into the water about this deep and find all
Wow.
kinds of wonderful stuff. So I got really immersed. And
Mhm,
so with my cancer, it also helped with my spiritual awakening, which,
mhm.
I know we all are progressing with our opening our consciousness and stuff at, at different different stages. And
Right,
that was one thing that triggered even a wider awakening. I was already starting to awaken, but
right.
it really did help me. And um, then I began this journey where, this is one way that I can spread love and light is through my passion.
Mhm.
And so there you go.
Good, good. Well, being cancer survivor myself,
Oh, man.
I know how it is when you get those words, "You
Those
have
words.
cancer," and like
Yep.
you turn pale, you don't know what to do. You're like, "What? Like, how could this happen?" And so I also, so I could understand that whole shift uh, of not just more awakening more, or because you awaken at various times to different degrees, but
True.
also the shifting of your energy. Like, okay, you know what? You're not in my field anymore because you're a waste of time. You're not,
Right.
you're draining me instead of uplifting me. So, see, you gotta go. And
Right.
even the different things, you just change completely your perspective. And you're like, I am not wasting my time, not one more second. And no matter whether you get a positive, uh, result afterwards, you have surgery, you have your treatments and all that, and they say, it's extended, your life is extended, blah blah blah, but you still have such a moment of being surreal and saying to yourself, yeah, I'm done with the BS. I'm too old for that.
Right.
Now I'm like, you don't like me?
Right. You don't need that energy. You don't need
No.
that. Yeah.
Mm.
I
and
totally agree.
and like a lot of people in the very beginning of um, my journey, I used to be very close to my guides and all that. So
Oh
then
wow.
I've been close to my guides, thankfully, the whole time. I basically, since I was born, I
Oh
knew
wow.
I used to speak to them and all that. Usually archangels at that time.
Uh-huh.
So I used to say, why me? You guys tell me I still got a lot of work to do. So why are you putting me through this? And they're like, you needed a shift change. You were going in the wrong direction. I said, but you got to be that drastic?
It's a wake up call. A lot
It's
you
a wake up
we
call.
need to be shaken
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
and to make a major shift.
Right,
And
right.
and like you said, in relationships too, sometimes it's awakening to shift relationships or shift in your job or your
Hmm.
whatever, wherever your trajectory is, you know.
Right, right. Now, you're acting and being in those shows. Now, did you apply for all that stuff, or did they found you like through
They
YouTube or?
contacted me. Yeah, they
Cool.
contacted me. And so what's neat about that is they were reality shows, so I didn't have to memorize any lines. I just all I had to do was be myself and do what I love to do. And
Right.
so uh, that's really neat. So
Yeah,
yeah,
because the question is, were you ever interested in acting and all that other stuff? So I'm
I
like,
was.
yeah,
I was.
yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was big into me and my cousins and my brother growing up that we would perform these little plays in front of our family. And I was, my minor in college was theater. My major is art. So I'm an artist as well.
Right.
And anyway, but I was always, I was a big fan of um, Carol Burnett. I
Mm.
love that kind of thing, and Saturday Night Live fan. But as a little girl, you always have those grandeur. Oh, you know,
I want to be
you see
famous. I
those.
want to be up
You would
there.
you see
Yeah.
those people on TV like, oh wow, living these glamorous lives and everything. So
Right.
I
Right.
think there's a little of that in most everyone.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. What little girl didn't really go take dancing or tapping or ballet or singing or something like that. I mean,
Right.
and so that's something that we should grow up with. Um, so now you wrote a book, right?
I did.
Yes.
I actually have. It's not a. It's a says not for resale. It was one of the original ones because I don't
Right.
have one of my. I just sold my last copy that I had on hand
Right.
yesterday.
Right.
Um, but yeah, something I never thought I'd be doing because I don't consider myself a writer at all.
Right.
But there's always something. You know, we we just tend to. But it's got a lot of my photos of finds and a little bit
Nice.
of my story um, of kind of how I got into it, and then step by step stuff, um,
Mm. So
of
this
how
is
to.
this is great because it could inspire others to do this, to kind of, not only the joy of finding things, because that's always neat,
Right,
just finding something, some little treasure, no matter what it is, but also to be able to focus on something else. Maybe they were looking for something to do, even by yourself. Sometimes you just need that alone time and ground
exactly.
yourself, right?
Yeah, and I never even thought about it till later in life after I kind of my awakening and stuff, how
Mm-hmm.
therapeutic and how meditative
Mm-hmm.
when I used to get out on the beach and I would just, you know, swing my metal detector and I would be in this my own little world, just
Mm-hmm.
meditative world, and how there just it really is. And then also being able to share with others, like through my book.
Right.
Um, showing that anybody can do this, and it's the hobby that gives back. Never
Mhm.
would I thought it would become my career. My hobby would become my career.
that
But
that that's the passion. That's the passion right there. That's when you know
it
that
really is.
it's in you, it's part of you, and all that. And the beach is such a great place that the water just it's just grounding you and cleansing you because when you're out,
Yes,
I'm a beach person. Okay, so I could tell you,
I am too.
I
I
sit
miss the
there
beach.
while everybody's hopping around and doing all this. I just sit there and go, oh,
Uh,
it's just in my own Zen world, earplugs
you do
in. So
your grounding,
yes,
right,
yes, and cleansing too, because you
and
you
cleansing.
leave behind any anger that you may have brought up that you may not even realize, or disappointment or anything. It's just the sand, the air, the water just completely balances you. So it's a
100%.
win-win situation when you're doing that at the beach.
It really does. It really is. I always, when I go to the beach or anytime I go out metal detecting,
Right.
especially near water, because water is healing and
Hmm. It's a
um,
great conductor, yes.
just great conductor. Just any, and another thing, like you said, besides the beach and water, but just being out in nature.
Yes. Yes.
And I get exercise and all of that. So
And
it's
the,
just a win win win.
yes, and the fresh air, and you're able to think clearly. And even if you have a problem to solve or a situation, you could work through it.
Right.
As you're by yourself, just no distractions, nobody. Blah, 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 as I say, it's like, oh, stop the noise, stop the noise. Let's just stop the noise. And you go out there and by yourself. That's very, very important. Now, as you go along doing all this, do you find that you keep having awakening moments? Do you find that every once in a while you wake up and you're like, oh, here we go again?
All the time, almost every day.
And so, how does that look for you? I mean, how does that play out for you? Does it make you feel like you want to learn more? Does it make you look into more spiritual subjects? Does it, because every person goes through awakening moments differently, and each awakening moment is different. So,
It really is. And, for me, I have so much going on with different projects.
uh-huh.
So now not only my main thing is through my YouTube channel. So I'm constantly out there making content, and then it's trying to find the time to go back and edit that stuff and put it out there. And then I've got personal things. Recently started a business with my ex and for our kids. I have two boys.
Hmm.
And anyway, that's a whole nother story. And then my personal life, with, it's a daily, I would say it's a daily, constantly reminding myself that, hey, I need to stop, breathe,
Hmm.
focus. What do I want to focus my energy on right now in this
Hmm.
moment?
Hmm.
Do I just need to sit and meditate, maybe listen to some affirmations, maybe listen to some frequency music, all of that,
Right.
or read a book or watch, just sit and just let
Base,
everything go for a while.
right.
Yes.
Basically, do a little self care, as I call it.
Yes. So I
Because
try to do a little of that every day. Sometimes it's hard.
mm,
But
yeah.
it's finding that balance. It tends to go like this every day.
Yes, yes. And people don't realize, yeah, you have a YouTube channel, you do content. They don't realize how much work it takes to finally get something out there. you know.
It really does, and especially with mine being that I have to not only go to a place where I pull out my metal detector,
Mhm.
or I'm digging in the dump, or I'm you may not always find
Right.
something just wow. You may
Mhm.
go out and you're going to dig. You usually dig something. I mean, even if it's just some pennies or something like that.
Right.
But that's not the kind of stuff you add a little of that in with your content because that's reality.
Right.
But then you go, well, so it takes time to get out there and create that content, and then to come back and find that time to edit that and do all that. Like for instance, let's see, like I've got stuff here on my desk. These are all items I found. Like I got to go to Roatan Island this um, fall, right? Well, was it October, September? Anyway,
Mhm.
um, this is a silver ring I found while I was in Roatan, so I've got a video up on that. By the way, the name of my YouTube channel is called Zero Discrimination,
Mhm.
and what a lot of people don't realize that actually also has something to do with metal detecting, the
Mhm.
terminology. So, um, anyway, if they read my book, they'll understand.
There
Uh,
you go. They can go get it.
but I found these two rings there. I've
Nice.
I've got stuff all over my desk that I found here and there, like hunting an old property. This is an old compact, makeup compact, and it's got
Wow.
got the you know designs on it, and a lot of the times you can retrace this to the history and connecting that history. So that's what I love to do in my videos, is to connect whatever I'm finding to the past
Right.
or to the future, or whatever, wherever I'm detecting or
Mhm.
treasure hunting. So
And something like that, you have to search the era and you know where it could possibly come from, because let's face it, that thing did not come from like Kohl's or JC Penney or Macy's or
right,
anything like that.
right,
Something like that had to have been at some point handmade. It wasn't machine made, all that stuff.
right.
So that's the neat part about it, but it does take time, right?
And
And
and it really does. It takes a lot of time.
yeah,
So
and fitting in that with self-care and life itself, that I'm sure it keeps you very busy. Do you see anything in your future that say, that you're really working towards, besides the the one that you just said already, but anything else that you're like on your bucket list? Like any places that you would love to
I
uh,
definitely want to go to the UK
mhm,
and metal detect over there. I've got several friends that metal detect over there, um, and find some amazing stuff and create some content for my YouTube channel over there. Um, but also, yeah, I have so many crazy dreams and so many crazy things that I want to, you know, leave behind and do, um, that I feel like is part of my soul mission.
right.
Um, that I could give you a long list. It may not be the place, uh, time and place, but one thing I am doing currently, I've also got into like the production side after being on those TV shows. So
Mhm.
I've started a few of my own productions uh,
Nice.
that are history and treasure hunting related, as well
Mhm.
as some other crazy stuff. Um, Started. I just finished another book, but it's not about metal detecting, and it's a totally different genre. And um, it's a new venture for me. I won't talk about that here, but um, yeah, so many different
Good.
dreams and things that I'm
Good.
working on.
Now, I don't know. I work a lot with energy healing and energy scanning in a way and all that other stuff. have you seen? Do you see yourself using any of that, of those gifts, like any of that coming up in your future? Do you see yourself taking classes, for example, about Reiki or anything to that effect?
Yes, yes. I think part of my spiritual awakening, I've read Reiki books.
Hmm.
I met people before I knew, when I just learned what Reiki was,
Hmm.
that performed Reiki on me and found something weird going on with my right kidney
Hmm.
then, and then a year or so later is when I lost my right kidney,
Right. Right.
So um, I definitely, I feel like we're all kind of learning our gifts,
Hmm.
and as we awaken, and that's part of what I'm doing. I have more of a, um, I guess it's clairsentient, more of a knowing,
Hmm.
um, where I just know things sometimes, and I don't know how. I would love to talk to my spirit guides. uh,
Well,
would
we
love,
could,
love, love.
I could help you with that maybe.
I may
Yeah.
be talking to you, Glenda,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
about that. I I'm just open to. I would love to channel,
Hmm.
light language, all of that. I'm totally open for all of the above. But one thing that I have just recently started using more, I didn't realize how divining rods were so prevalent in, like, paranormal or
Hmm.
spiritual,
Hmm.
until, like, I was introduced to dowsing rods through my metal detecting community. I started a metal detecting club in South Texas that a gentleman had joined and said, "Hey, have you ever used dowsing rods?" I said, "No, but I remember my grandfather, finding
Hmm.
water and stuff."
Right.
So he made me a pair. I'm just trying to quickly tell this story. He made me a pair, and then I got into it, and then I realized it was that it can be used for so many things, so many
Hmm.
things.
Hmm.
And so I'm kind of mind blown. So I feel like that's something that I'm supposed to be using more in the future. And I have been using more of lately, to just even talk to my guides and ask questions.
Yes. Yes. That's people. Uh, how can I say, pigeonhole themselves in their thought. They put themselves in a box. But everything that is here on this earth has multiple purposes. It just depends on the person who's willing to be open about it, or just, okay, you know, this is a tuning fork and that's all it is. It's a tuning fork. When you go to the chiropractor, sometimes they put it right on your knee because your knee hurts. But this is
So much more.
so much more. And the vibrations can help you bring on beautiful meditation. It could bring on a spiritual awakening. So many, even that moment of, that's, thank you. Okay, you opened up that little
Right.
bit of knowledge that I needed to figure things out.
I listen
um
to a lot of frequency music myself.
yeah.
And a little fun scientific fact here: metal detectors operate off of frequency.
Hmm.
So,
That's why I kind of brought the tuning fork thing, because I have seen so many people when I go to the beach, especially early in the morning, right before everybody starts coming in. They're all out there, and I'm like,
you know, detect
This is the only time I get up early to to
to go
do
to the beach.
it. Yeah. All the other times, oh no, it's too early in the morning. But
Right. I hear you
but
there.
so I'm not really a morning person.
Me neither.
Not
But
until
lately I do it all the time. I woke up at 2 this morning, 2 a.m., and I couldn't go back to sleep.
uh,
So I think I
they,
got 1 extra hour of sleep before I finally woke up.
yeah,
It's one of those
they
nights
want they
I
wanted to
rarely
talk
have.
to you.
Apparently so.
Your guys wanted to talk
I,
to you.
usually I get waken up between
Three.
either 3
Uh-huh.
a.m. or 5 a.m. That's my
Uh-huh.
norm
Yeah.
lately. But last night it was not that. It was way earlier. So.
Full moon. They wanted to get a head start.
I
Anyway,
guess so. Right.
but the problem is when they wake us up, they kind of have to be reminded really every once in a while. We still are in a human shell here.
Right.
We need our
We
rest,
need
and
that.
we need that rest. You guys have endless energy. You're just energy and the whole thing, but you forget. So when
Heal these
mine's
bodies, rest these bodies.
when mine start waking me up on a daily basis, I literally said the other day to them, not today, not today, not today. I am here for you guys all the time, but not at 2 o'clock in the morning today. No, I need my rest. That's it. I said, call me later.
I'm putting you on mute for a
I'm,
while.
I'm turning off the phone. So,
That's funny.
oh Lord. Now, is there in your travels and all of this, is there any moment that you have all of a sudden everything just came in together and you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. Like, look how different. I thought my life was going to go one way, and look how different was it, it did it appear like in one of those moments when you were metal detecting, or was it one of those moments where you just like by yourself driving, or
Driving definitely is big for me, metal detecting thing with my, I mean, meditative state
right?
because, like I told you, I heard the thing when I
Mm-hmm.
said start a YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in the car just kind of thinking about, oh wow, I just went through this surgery. This is the first time I got to get out metal detecting since my last surgery.
Mm-hmm.
It was so fun. I had some amazing finds, and then all of a sudden I hear this start a YouTube channel. And then years pass, and I had been on the TV one of the TV shows, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm driving, and I went to go. I'd left a metal detector in a friend's vehicle, and was driving to go pick it up and go metal detect with him, and then driving back, and I'm like, just in that meditative state, and all of a sudden I hear produce it, and I'm like, okay, produce what? And it was your show idea, and so
Right.
now, I'm finally getting around. It took me about 3 years to finally say, okay, don't wait for other people, because I went through, made several pitch decks, and I
Mm-hmm.
had some big production companies, really big production companies, look at them. Um, and one actually ended up on Morgan Freeman's production company desk. And I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really happening.
Right.
And then I got green lights for my show, but then nothing ever came. And so I'm like, still getting that knowing, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I get the hint. I'm
Right.
I've got to do it.
Right.
I've got to do it myself.
And I guess the whole journey was to give you the courage to
Courage
say,
and confidence,
right,
yes.
right, because Morgan, oh my goodness, okay, and they green lighted and all this, and it takes a long time to
It
produce
does.
anything,
It
it
does.
does. But
Right.
now you got yourself your confidence. You should be able to get this going, get it going, and make it big, and show people how to do this, right? The fun you could have, even more so than just your YouTube channel, but in a bigger place, bigger audience.
It's a
Uh,
way bigger audience, and I know now without a shadow of doubt that a lot of it is geared towards spiritual as well as,
mhm,
and with the consciousness, human consciousness all waking up, the
right.
great awakening, whatever you want to call it. I feel that it's part of my main mission here this time around.
Good. But well, every little bit that we do heals somebody in some way. We may not see it as healing, but
Right.
somebody could watch a show and they're stuck in a hospital bed or they're stuck at home, they're watching this and they're like, oh, wait, and she can do it. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to aim. So I got to get better to do that. So it does, it serves as a healing tool.
It really does. And another thing I think for me, because when I first started, there wasn't any hardly any females in my line of what I like to do,
Hmm.
and so I'd actually started uh, a metal detecting club in Galveston right after I just started, and started metal detecting. So I was new to the hobby, and I was president of the club, and then before long, I was this one woman with all these men in this group. And then before long, before we ended, there was just as many women as there were men in there. So I feel like, um, even those little things that we may not, like you said,
Hmm.
those little things that we may see as insignificant, we don't know we are, uh, whose lives we're touching with those
Yeah,
little things.
exactly. Exactly. It's just the whole thing about your story that you didn't give up. You decided to then do something for you, and the joy it's bringing you, the healing that's bringing you, that has brought you, that in itself will help somebody else, encourage somebody else. That's what I tell everyone. You have this little bit. You never know what that seed is going to bring.
You
You know
never
that
know.
what tree is it going to grow into?
You and I were just thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
Tree.
yeah.
I was just thinking that.
Right. So now you did this basically because you saw your passion and all that. Do you recommend any specific um, equipment or anything specific for anybody who may want to try this thing?
Yes. So a lot of that I go through step by step in my book
Right.
because this is a beginner's
Right.
guide to metal detecting.
Mm-hmm.
So from the very first, if they're just even contemplating, what
Right.
metal detector should I get, what equipment, what's on the market, how to research that, not just go. When I first started, I went and bought a Radio Shack metal detector because I didn't know any better, and that's where I'd only seen them.
Right.
Um, but I didn't know the scientific stuff behind that it wouldn't perform as well on salt minerals on the beach, et cetera, et
Mm-hmm.
cetera. Wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
go as deep, yada yada. So there is a learning curve. I mean, and you can watch YouTube videos. They can go to my YouTube channel and get a lot of that. But if they will contact me, I would be glad to help them. I'm actually sponsored by Garrett Metal Detectors, which
Mm-hmm.
is manufactured right in uh, Texas, where I live.
Okay.
So, but they are a worldwide company. So they we ship everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
um, that's one thing. But I have used all brands, and I actually also um, help. I actually sell detectors for a distributor called the Digger's Den, and
Hmm.
so I can help them get. It doesn't have to be Garrett. Other brands that are on the market, and with a discount, and help guide them on into that if that's what they want to do at their level or what they feel can
Right.
be also affordable to them.
Right, right, great. So I put your LinkedIn contact information here, so
All
they
right, I
could
appreciate it.
contact you. They could contact you directly through there, because sometimes YouTube and Amazon, no matter how easy they say it is to contact somebody,
It can get a
sometimes
little right,
a
right.
little, and not everybody can just figure out that puzzle and all that
True,
other
true.
stuff. Um, so now, with all you have learned, okay,
Uh-huh.
do you see yourself completely different? I mean, were you one of those people that was going, 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 going all the time, and just, or how does that appear for you?
Yes, completely different. I think that, of course, our environment and how we're raised and all of that has shapes and molds us into kind of where we're headed in life. But at the same time, through like even those like the C word, cancer,
Mm-hmm.
through our hardships and through our, um, you know, from, through this hobby that
Mm-hmm.
grew into my profession, and like I said, I'd never considered myself a writer, and now I'm writing books and working on producing TV shows, and just it's totally changed my life. And um, yeah, and brought upon the spiritual awakening as well. So I'm definitely not that same person. Eh,
Right.
At the core, I am.
Right. Right. But
I think,
yeah,
but
but
you know
you're
what I mean.
you're more open to the possibilities of things that haven't been shown to
Yes,
you.
yes, yes, yes.
Because sometimes we're brought up. I was brought up in a very, very strict Christian, Northern Baptist Christian background.
I hear you there. Same here.
And my mother knew I had the gifts, and because it was a
She probably,
generational thing, she would say, "You talk to me only about this, not in front of your father, not in
well,
front of anybody."
at least you could talk to her, right? Or would she
Yes,
let you? That's
yes, yes.
wonderful because, yeah, I was taught, that none of that, it's
Uh huh. Yeah. Well, she was originally Catholic, and then she uh, converted to my father's religion because they got
right.
married and the whole thing.
Hmm.
But she was always open because she would even get dreams about things that were going to happen.
So that
Right,
helps when they have that,
right,
a
right,
gift of their own.
right. So, like I said, it was a generational thing, and most of the women in that line, going up my mother's line, have had gifts. So I'm the only oddball that um, gave it to all my kids, whether they're male or female.
Ah, well, that's good.
Yes, they may not use it, they may not admit it, but they have it, and then
And
and
someday, eventually, when it's right time,
when it's for them,
it'll
I don't
blossom.
exactly. Well, they've blossomed. I think I never
That's
stopped them.
good.
I
Good.
just said when if you ready to come out of that closet, so to speak, then it's up.
Exactly.
Whenever you're ready, you're ready. That's something that's a more of a private journey, so you can't do it.
Right.
A lot of people like to push, but you just
You don't
can't.
want to push. Yeah, it
Either
has to
way,
happen on your
right,
own terms.
right. But they are very open, and I am very blessed because I did have my mother that way. But I know a lot of people that had, even today, that their parents are like, we don't even really want to associate with you or talk to you because you're doing that. you
Hmm.
know and
Yeah, I get that.
and that makes it difficult, right, to follow your
It really
passion.
does. It does. It really does.
Because in the background of your mind you're like, oh, I should I'm supposed to respect my parents and follow their wishes and
Right?
honor my parents, and then you're like, wait a second, I am honoring them because I'm honoring myself,
True.
right? So
That's right.
uh, w- with all these books and all that, how's the family about it? Like, because you know how that is.
Well, I think that with this particular book, they were proud,
Right.
um, but anytime I talk spiritual because I've strayed from the religious aspect,
Uh-huh.
it's like, I get called this and that, but
I'm a witch. I don't care.
well, I got
You know.
called that the other day by my mother, and yeah, I was just like, whatever, mom.
And what they don't realize is that
They don't understand.
the terminology, which is just somebody who's in the oneness in connection with nature, connection with everything that divine being has given us so we could use.
100%. Yep.
It doesn't mean like that ugly.
Right, right. It doesn't mean the stereotypical, is what we're taught,
Right,
and how
right.
that relates.
I mean,
So,
let's face it. In the old times, witches were the ones that were doctors, right? Technically,
right? It's true.
oh,
It's so
and
true.
before they actually became doctors,
Yeah,
doctors, so
right.
they had the healing. So, what can you say to somebody who's thinking about starting this? Like, is there anything in particular that you would like to say? Like follow your passion, or what?
Yeah, yeah, just follow your heart.
Hmm.
If you feel a calling to, hey, I would think that's something that I would really be interested in, and it would get me out of the house, it would get me to the, or hey, maybe I know some really historical areas, maybe I have a really cool old property, I would love to see what's on it, you know. Um,
Hmm.
Follow your heart and do it. That's
Very
You
good.
might be getting that little, you know, for a
Excuse
reason.
me. Excuse me.
Come on now. And you never know where it may lead.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, so give us your some of your information again. I'll put up the
Okay.
YouTube channel. So.
So, yeah, my YouTube is Zero Discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
My website is gypsydigs.com, which is
Mm-hmm.
currently down. I've got to get it up today.
Mm-hmm.
I received a notification that it's down. So, anyway, hoping to get that accomplished today.
Uh-huh.
And they can find me on Facebook. Um, Gypsy Jewels. They can find me on LinkedIn, Gypsy
Mm-hmm.
Jewels. They can find
Mm-hmm.
me on Instagram. They can find me on TikTok. Um, but the main ones are YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn through
Mm-hmm.
there. So
And then I'm gonna give them the link to your book so they
I
could
appreciate it.
follow you. And then when you get get that other book out, publish that other book, they'll get
I'm
notifications
that
that way.
close. I'm that close. Yes.
So I'm looking forward to it because this is like I know it's different than this, and I know it's going to be very interesting. I can feel the energy already. So, is there any last words for our audience?
um, I just, you know, follow your passion, whatever that is.
Very
And I appreciate you, Glenda, for having me on. And
oh, my
I'm
pleasure.
excited to hear more about you and later as we get to know each other better and
Definitely.
uh, how we can work together.
Oh,
Um,
you know that. You know that.
I already feel it. I feel it.
So thank you again, and of course, anytime you want to come back, when you get
I
your book
appreciate it.
out, please
Okay.
do. And I just want to say to our audience, thank you for being here again. Hit that like, subscribe, share. You never know who you're helping to heal, and this is all you have to do. It won't cost you money, won't cost you anything, but click, 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 click. So, as always, have a great week and blessings, and we love you.
Bye, all.
Bye.